Hello there.
Fyodor, do you use Blender?
For rigging, no.
Okay.
DS Max as well.
I was just wondering if somebody joins in here and asks Blender questions. I have no idea how to answer them.
Yeah, especially if Mo is going to join. At least from what I know with Blender is they use weight painting for rigging models, which is different from the usual we do in 3ds Max.
That sounds like a headache. Alright, I'm just waiting for a few more people to join, I guess, and then I'll start. I think more people are interested.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Mo can join. I think he said he couldn't join us on recording.
Oh, okay.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
View angle. There we go.
Nice, people are joining. Alright, so the first unit I was thinking about rigging is just a dismounted Swan Knight.
Ayo.
So that's gonna be our first boy.
What skeleton are you going to rig him to?
Rig him to Theoden with the sword and shield combo.
All right. And am I correct in thinking that you only need to rig it to the skeleton, not to specific animations?
Yeah, you just need to rig it to the base skeleton. So like if I was to do this from scratch, import his his skeleton. So let's say
Uh-huh.
you're done with the model, you're ready to rig it, and you would just make sure so you can press F3 to get a wireframe view, and you can just make sure the important bone placements are like the meshes matching with where the things need to go. So you just have upper arm. In most cases, it's upper arm, forearm, and hand. Just make sure it lines up with that. Sometimes it's not gonna line up perfectly. Like I think this is not perfect by any means, but it doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be close enough. His waist is gonna be a little too high, but that's fine. Head also too high, but that's also fine.
Because that ends in the neck bone.
This though, everything is well. The Theoden skeleton is very simple. It doesn't have a neck bone or anything. So, like this is like probably this is a BFME1 skeleton, so it doesn't have like clavicles and
Okay.
extra bones like that. It's just a simple thing. They use
Oh, Battlefield One also has some skeletons with clavicle.
yeah, the Condor Soldier. I know. But after in BFME2, I think like Glorfindel has like so many bones.
Really? I
Yeah,
haven't even looked.
Glorfindel. They definitely mocapped him, so they just tried to include as much as they could. I think.
Ah, okay.
So when you're rigging, so your most friendly shortcuts are going to be F3 for the wireframe view, and F4 to just bring the wireframe while it's still textured up. So I'll try and take. I usually rig very fast, so I'll try and take my time and do everything. So before I rig, I'm just gonna make sure all of my things are like even. Make sure everything's named properly.
Um, Starting at the start for this though, do you just open 3ds Max and then import the model, or open the model, or how do you? How does this work?
Well, I'm assuming you know the basics of modeling because you would need to create a model. Okay, so for instance, this was made already. So this was made already by Matthias or Dunedain, I don't remember which one. And I kind of cut it out here a bit. But this was the horse from the horse rig. So
Yeah.
I just imported it from the horse, and then I gave him a sword. So I already pre-modified it for this stream already.
Okay.
So this is the model. Let me see if I can open it up real quick. Can't do this in case I don't want to spoil anything. I don't know if I have anything to spoil. I'm retired.
Where do you like? I want to modify an existing model, so I guess I need to find their max file.
You would need to find their W3D file
Okay.
and then import it into Max. So if you want to, if that's where we need to start, I'll start with that. That's no problem.
Yes, thank you.
So if I can do this one, and so if you want to import it with rigging, you would leave this ticked on. But if you're going to change the skeleton, you just take it off. This is auto bind, so it would keep as much rigging. It doesn't keep it 100% accurate, but it keeps it. I don't think it retains secondary rigging and stuff
Okay.
like that. So let's say you're going in blind and you want to import a model. So I actually exported something else. So this is how it would appear for you
Okay.
as soon as you import it. The first thing we usually do is select everything, right click, convert to poly. And then what I do is I go to modifier lists over here. I go down to vertex weld, and
Oh my goodness.
you just do
I have no
this. You just do this real quick, and it like. So what happens when you re-import stuff is it adds vertices sometimes, it just welds everything back together. Reconvert it,
Okay.
reconvert it to a poly, and then you add a smooth. So you smooth everything back out, and then you would add your textures manually. So, okay, I'm going too fast again. So go over here to material editor. Assuming you have everything set up correctly already, you would have a you go to standard here and you'd have two things. You have a DirectX 9 shade and you have white W3D. And we only really use W3D for the basic models. So you see all this pop up, you go straight to textures, stage 0 texture. And then you just start adding in the textures. Now, I don't actually remember what textures this guy needs, to be honest, so I'm just gonna apply everything.
This is it.
Good guess.
Yeah, but he has some missing ones. I know he has a shield texture. So this one is to apply it, this one is to display it.
Okay.
Yes, and gear, I don't know if the gear is this section. So just keep repeating that. Right, so it's a sword. Just wait correctly. I guess the face. Put all the heads. Oops. I'm just gonna delete this. I'll get back to that later. So I think it's set up again as it should be. So this is what I had in the file before. This is how you would import it from like the Age of the Ring files, and then so when you're importing a file, you want to make sure the skeleton it's attached to is there with it, so it's in the same folder. Because if you don't do that, it won't import correctly. It'll import like broken.
Okay.
So to get that, you'd have to you just need to go into the units file, look at the unit model, and then you can see what skeleton they use from the animations, or sometimes it's here like this. So it tell you the master peasant skeleton. So that's how you would navigate, and then you would go to, I don't even know my Age of Them folder is, to be honest. Oh, let's see. That's not our folder. Right, so Age of the Ring. It'd be art. You're looking at view master. So you get this the skin here. And then I usually have a little file with all the vanilla stuff extracted. So I would just go and find the skeleton here. And then you just pick up the skeleton here one time too. So how I set this up is that I extracted all the art files from the big files from the game. So I have all the assets somewhere. You know, you have a library somewhere. So that's why I have a BF1 to have all kinds of stuff here. So alright, back to rigging. So now assuming you import, well, this didn't need a skeleton because I made sure it didn't need a skeleton to import. Just make sure you have your skeleton ready. The most important thing is making sure this stuff matches. So once you have everything set up, this will help you a lot. So this separates the geometry, and all the bones are under the category helpers. So if I was to select helpers, I can't click any mesh, but I can click the bones. Whereas if I was to use geometry, I would only select the mesh. So going to helpers, I'm going to select everything. I'm not going to use every bone here, but just for the sake of the tutorial, just to keep it simple, I'm going to select everything. I'm going to go to create. We're going to have this space warp thing. Click forces, and then go to West Space Warps and create a WW skin. And since I selected everything, once I go to add bones, it pre-selects all the bones I selected. So if you wanted to leave a bone out, like, because let's say I'm not going to use like the bow bone, the arrow bone, I can deselect it from here. Press OK, and you place it anywhere. You can literally like place it in the back or something, but usually people just place it right next to the model. And then you have this little doohickey here. So you're gonna select your geometry. You're gonna press bind to space warp, and you're gonna drag everything, select everything that needs rigging, and you drag it to the space warp. And then you'll see if I select it and go to this, we'll have this modifier now, and it'll tell I basically now tell which vertice to go to which bone. So starting with the helmet, everything just goes to the head bone. You can like you can do this in wireframe. We can do it without wireframe. It's up to you. I usually go
What
back
does
and forth.
what does that object do? Like you've now mapped it to that geometry, the binding thing.
So basically what I'm doing here is the space warp here is identifying all the bones that this unit uses, and I'm just telling
Okay.
what part of the mesh to go where. So I'm telling the entire helmet, I'm selecting the whole helmet and putting it to the head bone.
Okay, so that space warp actually kind of indexes the bones you have.
Yeah. It indexes what to use, and if I was to animate it real quick. Ooh, I'm getting old. If I was to animate it, it's rigged to the head bone. Anytime I move the head bone, it's gonna move.
Okay, yeah.
So that's what we're doing. We're making sure everything on this model moves. So a couple of things I do is when it comes to the main body, because this is a part with multiple parts to it, right? The first thing I do is rig like the easy stuff. So shield. I think shield is actually supposed to go to the bow bone, which I deleted from the space warp. On the left, yeah, it's bow bone. Okay. So if you miss the bone, you can go back and just add it. Just go to edit, add bone, bow bone. So this one is gonna go to the bow bone. This one is gonna go to the sword. Sometimes they're named, sometimes they're not. I think Fyodor can attest to that. Sometimes they're named incorrectly.
I actually had no idea that the bow bone was a shield bow. I always rigged it to forearm with Thetan skeleton.
Yeah. So for the shoulders, not too sure. Because this part is tricky. So I could rig it to the rib bone and it'd be static, but it probably wouldn't look as good. So I'm gonna rig it to ribs. I'm just gonna. This is the fun part. Why do they make these models like this? I swear to God.
It's funny when Matthijs is rigging. I can tell he usually rigs the whole pauldron to the upper arm. Your rigging is mixed, and I personally prefer that as well.
Yeah, I try to get to look as realistic as possible.
Mm.
So I'm just trying to select the little mesh underneath, making sure I don't select anything on the top here. And honestly, if you were rigging vanilla models, you wouldn't really have to worry about this. This is kind of the age of the rig thing.
You're rigging the upper part of the pauldron to the ribs and then the lower parts to the shoulders.
Correct. So I'm selecting everything first, making sure I have everything selected. It's,
You have the tip of the upper pauldron selected, front tip. Unless I'm mistaken.
yeah.
No, I mean at the front, where it forms kind of like a blade shape.
Correct. So I think I have everything I need here. So I'll rig this to upper arm left. I honestly have to see how it looks and then proceed from there. And I have to do it on this side. And this is very time consuming, as you can see. But usually it's, I mean, when you're now beginning, I don't think you really need to even bother with this kind of stuff. Just once it looks good in game is the main. This should be your main concern. All of this, what I'm doing here, is really just fluff. Because I could just rig the whole thing to upper arm, as Fyodor said, Matthias does, and it'll look fine in game. But I like to add a little bit. I like to test myself. These things. So body mesh. First thing I do, literally the first thing I do is just Control A, select everything, and just rig it to ribs. And you just break down where you need everything else to go. So here up to here. Up to this thing here is where I'd rig the waist. And it varies from skeleton to skeleton. Because some skeletons have 3 pieces here, like a ribs 2, and then waist or pelvis bone or something. So you just kind of have to improvise, adapt, overcome. Right, so we have a little bit of doohickeys here. We have some hip armor. Now this is gonna be fun. So right now I'll hide this. Look, get that little bug. So everything here is pretty simple. What I like to do is this little line here is line it up so it's straight. So you have a pretty straight view, at least like this. Then I start going down from the legs. So what else? I'll start from the top and work my way down. So this would be thigh left. The other side will be thigh left. I'm leaving this in the middle blank for now, but I'll come back to that later. So his calf starts here on the bone, but on the model it starts here, the way this little shape is here. So this is where I'll put the calf for now. Legs is something you play with a lot too. So for the middle piece, what I'm going to do is go down like this line. I'm going to select leg left, and then secondary rig it to the leg right, and add a weight of 50%. And what it'll do, it'll balance between the two. So when this leg moves left, this will move halfway. When this move left, this it just balances in between everything. And you do the same for the calf. This is just for like the skirts that don't separate. Let's say this was separated, like there wasn't any chainmail here and it was just these 2 blue pieces, you wouldn't have to worry about this blue rigging here. We could go with this. This one is just calf left, calf right. And we put the legs. Legs can be wonky to work with, but it's essentially the same rule. Thigh left. If you need me to explain anything, just say, because I'm probably gonna go in autopilot mode. Just keep reading this. So where this thing bends is where you put the calf. And for the foot, what I do is tilt the camera like this, and it selects everything. If you have the auto positioning.
And you leave out the ankle itself.
Yeah, so
The foot.
what this will do is this will pivot off of, so this will remain the calf and this foot is gonna pivot from that.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
try to save as often as you can. Alright, what didn't we rig yet? We didn't rig this little strap. Conveniently named strap. These are fun doohickeys to rig because I don't have any idea what to do with these. So this will probably just go to the waist bone. This could go to thigh. And this could secondary rig to thigh. So this will stretch. This could just stay to waist. I'm not gonna bother with the sheath bone. I'm just gonna rig everything to the waist bone just to save us some time because I don't want to work on that. If it looks bad, I'll probably fiddle with it. And then we have arms. Arms is basically the same. So in Age of the Ring, you'll find two types of meshes. One with the arms separate from the body, and one with the body, like everything encompassed in one. So the main thing to remember is this piece here needs to be connected to the ribs. Because this is, let's just say I'm hiding this. You don't want to rig all of this to upper arm. You want this to connect to the ribs. Because it's still then, because if you were to rig it to upper arm, it wouldn't have a pivot point. It would just fly away. So the first thing, like I said, the first thing I like to do is rig everything to ribs. At least it'll be rigged to something. Then I work my way down, same way as I did with the legs. So as you might assume, nobody likes to rig. I don't think
I do.
I don't think anybody really likes to rig. Like you rig things because you have to rig it. That's just how I've
Oh
seen
yeah.
it.
Personally, I only don't like rigging horses or just mounted. You know, like
Yeah, I don't like rigging horses.
it's all pain.
So right now this is the forearm stuff. So the model usually has two lines for the arm, where the arm and the forearm meet. The upper arm and the forearm meet. You usually just use the lower line so that this line will kind of form a bicep. Honestly, the best way to learn rigging is to do all the wrong stuff so you know how it works. And this part is for the hand. You don't rig any of this. The hand. I'm blind today. And I rigged everything to ribs already, so just to do this. Fyodor, do you agree with my rigging so far? Am I doing okay?
Some things I do different personally, but with rigging, I notice everyone has their own style, and they're all fine.
Then all you have to
For
do,
example,
all you have to do is make sure it works. It looks good in game. Once you have
Yeah.
to a place where it looks good in game, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Like one example, those two lines between upper and forearm you mentioned.
Yeah.
Usually the upper arm line, depending on the position of the bone, I rig like 25% to the forearm.
A secondary, yeah. Sometimes I would do that. It depends on how it looks too. And like if you don't match the proportions properly, like if you can't do it, otherwise you ruin the models, you probably do need to do that. I think I rigged everything. No, I didn't rig the cape. Oh fuck, I hate cape. Okay, hang on. It's no horse though. So for the cape, Control A and just rig it to spine, the ribs. And then you have to work your way down. Each cloak is different. So for Theoden's cloak, he has, let me break it down. So he has Cape 1, which is the starting point here. Let's move it, this thing here. And then I believe it's 2, 3, 4, 5. Some capes are fucking retarded. But some capes are like just broken up into different things, and once you see it, like Faramir's is like that. I pray you don't have to rig anything to that skeleton, even though it has every animation on it. Yeah, so for this,
Faramir animation set is quite complete, isn't it?
yes, I think it's the most versatile set. It's got the bow, sword, shield. It has sword and shield too.
Oh
I-
no.
Yeah, so Dunedain Ranger is the best one at rigging on that skeleton. He religiously rigs Rangers, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna rig this to Cape 1. You don't necessarily have to follow the cape movements, like the bone shape. You can it extends way past the bones. So I'll just do Cape 2, Cape 3. Do the secondary rig for Cape 2 and 3. 50% weight. And you just have 4, 5. And now is the fun part. Now you get to see all the mistakes you made. So we're just gonna, I'll export it without the stuff first and see how it looks. So when you export, you have to remember two things, I think, is select the mod, this one, and select your skeleton. It'll just ask you. Oh no. Just to suffer. So make sure and select your skeleton. And just for putting with you. So open your skin. Control A is to open, and I just control A. Everything, open everything. So we got a little boy here. We have all the animations listed out for us, so we can look and see. Oh my lord, I forgot to rig the head. Okay. The body looks okay though. Look is fine.
Oh, that is very strange indeed.
Yeah, so
You see everything you missed.
honestly, for the sword, I'm just gonna bring it to his hand. I don't want to deal with this. Really? I know for his shield it's wonky too, but I think I have to move it to the center and forward. Alright, the head is usually easy to rig when you have a helmet on it. It's just Control A ribs, and then you just select. You basically select everything from up here. Everything here is going to be to head. And how I do that is just line it up, make sure it's centered as much as you can. This max is kind of weird. This. And that's the head part. I don't know how I did. Oh yeah, I have to see how the pauldrons look. With the hips, I'll just rig it to the thigh bones and see how they look. I just know it's not gonna look at.
Don't forget to hide the other two heads that are not rigged.
Oh, I deleted them.
I deleted them. Okay.
I'll show them the trick after. Now he's looking. Oh, fuck's sake. Alright. Guess I'll have to separately rig that. Let me set the hips looking on movement. So push over. Why are you clipping your sword? This is the spear animations for the world guy. Alright. What was I gonna do? Right, it's Christ almighty. It's fucking frozen. Okay. I have to secondary rig it or something. Here, should I just rig it to the upper arm and just call it done? Just to save time, I think I'll do that. What else is wrong?
Yeah, I should be fine.
Sword clips. Okay, I think for this one I do actually have to rig it to sword bone. Play with the things. So this had to just have to put this too.
Yeah, I think the hips are fine. The what you call it, the tassets.
Move it down. Move it down and out a little bit. Move the shin tip. But now I don't want to rig a horse. I'm not gonna lie to you. Let me see what's wrong with this sword. Move it to the left and back. Tridents. Yeah, putting it on both is fine. Actually, let me two-side everything. Let me see two-sided one time. So to play with BFME stuff for the mesh, I just did it. Now I can't explain it. You click this thing and then more, and then W3D tools, and it brings this thing. Now it hides it. Bring it back up. For the mesh, all meshes you don't really need it to be a bone. And for certain meshes, you tick two-sided, so the cape needs to be two-sided. This helmet needs to be two-sided. The belt needs to be two-sided. I think that's it. Alright, let's see how that looks. Alright, move to the right. Everything else looks okay. Pauldron's clipping with the cape is nothing new. Oh, I hate Pauldrons. Why did he have to make it so complex? Alright, I'm gonna do this.
You could do the pauldrons secondary rigging, or I think it's just fine with all fixable.
I think with the pauldrons, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like it's also the skeleton itself. It's a
Yeah,
bit
this-
wonky.
The skeleton is wonky.
Yeah.
Why did Kyle tell me to use the skeleton? Oh my god, I should have just done fair. Whoa. Yeah, I'm gonna be flabbergasted because I haven't seen some of these animations yet. So how do we look? I don't need you. Deal with the problem. So I'm around this sword. So yeah, rigging, fun. It's just playing around with it until you get it to something that looks good. Usually when you have problems, try to tackle them one at a time. So that you don't overwhelm yourself and then mess up even more things. I think his sword is in his hand now. Oh, almost. Almost there. Like this. Yeah, alright, nice.
Nice.
Okay, Theoden is one of the skeletons now. I think what I'll do. I think this is what I have to do. Might look wonky. I could always avoid it. I have to do it on the arms too. Probably gonna look more crouched. That is, I mean, it's better. Yeah, I had apologies. Hip armor looks fine. Always gonna clip. Ew.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, for the people who are new to this process, it's really a matter of well,
Check around
exercise.
and find out.
Yeah. Start with simpler models and then work your way up to more complex ones like horses, monsters.
Yeah, your first rig should always, I mean, like, the thing is, when people ask me how to rig rage with the ring models, I don't know how to answer them because it's always specific. It's very specific. There's no.
You make the model for the rigging as well.
Yeah. And
Absolutely. I've rigged another models Nazgul from Special Extended Edition, and he sculpts his models rather than what Ancient Ring does with their models. And sculpted models have vertices placed all over their mesh.
bro,
That one is
wait till you have to
yeah.
rig you have to rig a dragon.
Oh goodness.
Lord.
I think I spent an hour rigging Smog, and we were on Skype, and I wanted to cry. I was like, oh my god.
I did the foot version of Smog, but I didn't know about secondary rigging at that moment.
Yeah,
So-
I was doing a lot of secondary rigging on Smug. I was trying to make them look perfect too. That was back when I was a perfectionist. There's too much of a perfectionist. So this would be acceptable in game. The main things you want it to look good in is its runs and its idles, because that's what it's going to be doing most of the time, running around and idling. Attacks, usually they look fine. This one looks fine to me. So you just make sure everything you need to be two-sided is two-sided. You can always compare it to the vanilla model. Sorry for my language. This is how I am.
How dare you?
This right here. Hit secondary to the weapon arms too. Yeah. So who's gonna actually use this model now that I've rigged it? I hope somebody's gonna use it.
I think the person who does the Dol Emerald adventure faction.
I mean, it's about the only model that I don't need for them. It's really
Oh.
stupid. Yeah, like what I need is a with this model. What I would need is a pikeman, like using the animation from the.
Like Tower Guard. The Tower
I
Guard animation.
are they the Tower Guard animation? I'll check. Just a moment. Duel on the Pikes. Yeah, they're Tower Guard animations.
I think the shield is properly placed now. Two.
Nice.
Alright, so two things. Just I got a message from him.
So yeah, like the pikeman I would need, and like I would need a dismounted version of the Black Swan Vanguard. That's what I like. That's kind of what I would need.
Well, you can use these as placeholders until. No. That's
That
fine.
is true, actually.
So two things before its final export. What I do for head variations is I delete all the variations, so that goes for the shield and for the heads. I delete all the variations we did as long as the mesh is the same. So what Matthias has done is made variations. What did I do? Why did I drag it away? So I just click it and then I hold button shift and I just click this. I just click it and let go. Now I'll create a copy head 2. This will probably be ready to do this. So it retains the clone that you made retains the rigging. I'll go to unwrap UV, edit, bring the texture down. You select options and then deselect this so you get the full res. Oh no, I forgot to use this one thing. Okay. Yeah, okay. Tell me I'm a dinosaur without telling me I'm a dinosaur. Or you can just drag this to the other side. Play with it till we get it right. And that's your second head variation. You click it, vary between the two. Click it again, let's make the third one. And the third one, you just select this, edit. Zoom out, select. I don't know which one to use. Let's use this one. The nose lines up properly.
Oh, he looks kind of smug.
Yeah. I feel like it gives a crisp red look for some reason. That's what I'm thinking. Alright, so that's 3 head variations. Usually 3 is good enough. For the shield, would be the same thing. So actually name shield. And second shield 02. I think they have variations at least. I might be wrong. Oh, they do. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they have 6? What is wrong with these people? I thought they only did 3s now.
Maybe, yeah. Somehow I also don't remember having 6, but
I think it's cool, but I just remember one time I did like 8 variations for the Variag and the class yelled at me for making too many variations. It's a common thing.
yeah.
This is fine though, it's just a shield. And you just duplicate and drag and it'll keep the rigging. This is how I managed my sanity when it was just me working alone. I developed a lot of shortcuts, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a bit of a cheat. Caramba. That's fine. Yeah. Cool. So I'm just curious, is anybody gonna rig anything after this, after watching this, or
I'm going to try to rig the Black Swan captain, but I was thinking of rigging him to the standard Gondor soldier skeleton.
Okay, good.
Wait, does the Gondor soldier skeleton have a cape?
No, you need to use the Numenor. You look at the Numenor soldier. Like
Numenor soldier.
yeah, that one has a cape. I did a cape for that. I did cape animations for that one alone. But it's a different skeleton. So we have 6 shield variations and 3 head variations. And for forged blades, I don't remember what to do.
I think it was copying and then
Well, I remember how to do this part, but I don't remember the settings off the top of my head. I'll have to copy it. I just did it again. Okay, listen, let me tell you what I'm doing. So I went to the sword. I clicked edit poly. It's gonna ask you if you want to forget about binding. Just say yes for now. We're not gonna actually destroy anything here. So you select the sword, the blade, just the polygons. If you need help seeing it, just use the wireframe view to select the blade alone. You would do the same thing we did to clone the head. And did I just... Yeah, I made 3. Okay. That's really good. So I can really go. So this thing here. Select. And I'm just holding shift and clicking. I'm just gonna name it forge_blade. Ooh, die. Okay. You go here, you go to push, or this part, push, and you push it up by 0.5. Alright, let's see. Let's see if I remember. So it's GUFBFX. Apply. Display. UV map. Can't just do this. And is it rotate? He's on black. Emissive. I could be fucking this up. I'm not gonna lie.
is the rotation same as the fire arrow one? That one I know off the top of my head. Settings.
I think I put it on this already. Let's rotate.
Great.
Let's rotate. I just don't remember the emissive settings. I don't remember how he did it. Off the top of my head. It's not in here. on the mounted one. I hope so. Yeah, I was thinking about doing a Lake Town mounted thing.
Nice.
Let's see. Oh, yes, it is here. Okay. Missive, I'm just gonna 25, 42, 75. Shader add. Let me make sure the rotate is correct. 0, 1. Cool. That's forward blade. Took here. Don't transform as bone. Table static sorting by 5. This is just so that it appears on top of the sword. You have to rig it. To whatever we rigged it to, which was a sword bone.
Did you rig it to the hands?
No, I re-rigged it to the sword bone
Oh, okay.
because it was looking bad. And there it is, the forged blade that one guy hates. That's cool. I know,
Badge.
I like it. It's cool.
Yeah, I think it's an improvement. But each to their own, I guess.
Yeah, everyone has their taste. So the kid doesn't click with the polygons anymore. Hooray! Okay. Yeah, this guy is ready to go. So sad. Our time is up. I'm gonna ignore that.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. If anybody wants to rig something while I'm here, or in the future, if you want to rig something and you're unsure about how to approach it, you can message me, and if I have time, I can probably pop in the chat.
I do have some general questions.
Shoot.
You have that field in your W3D, your 3DS, which just says import. Uh, wait.
This?
Yeah, that one.
Right.
How do you get that to show up?
Alright, how far into setting up Max did you get?
Nothing. I installed it and that's it.
Okay, you have to set up the W3D tools. I don't remember how to do that exactly. I'll put up the tutorial.
Okay. There's also it says that I'm on a trial period. Is there a way to bypass that?
I'm not gonna lie, I think you need to message Matthias. I think
Ah,
Make
right.
a share a cracked version.
you have to crack it. So Fyodor, do you remember how to do that?
No, I haven't installed it for years.
I
Matthias first has to share you a cracked version that
He
you can
did?
download. Oh, he did. Okay, and then I think there was.
There's a part in the tutorial. What's now? He'd have to come on to answer that. So it might have to be answered next stream. But
Okay.
you
Yeah,
have
that's fair.
you have to crack it. Usually he remembers how to do it, and then that free trial thing will disappear. And then you have to set up the W3D tools that you get from the SDK. Wait, the tutorial. Something here. I think it's download. Sources.
I do believe I have that.
Right. So you have the white W3D viewer and stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So I'm trying to look at the Anonymous Kingsguard model. It does open up all the skin stuff, and but in the hierarchy it just says AU Kingsguard.
Feel free
SE.
to share your screen. So I can.
Yeah. All right. So see this?
All right. So let me see the folder you opened it in, real quick.
Like so, what I did was just open, then
Okay, what you want to do, just make a new folder anywhere, like maybe on your desktop or something. What you want to do is you want to put the file in a separate place from the mod so you can edit it, make edits to it without affecting the mod immediately. So I have
that makes a lot
like
of sense.
literally the Horse Lords, Gondorian, all the Anorian stuff just separated into folders here. Hey, oh my god, I haven't seen this before.
Okay.
Let's go. Alright, so put it into that folder. And the Kingsguard, which skeleton does it use?
I think it's the Faramir skeleton.
Alright, just go in and find it.
Yeah, just wait.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the Faramir
Faramir.
skeleton.
So you just find it in the I think it should be in the Age of the Ring folder. The the skeleton should be there. If it's not, I can send it to you real quick. So, just
You Faramir skeleton.
one more thing for the tutorial before I forget is when you're done with the export, you create a box over it. It's like so. And you just put OBB box over it. And if you want to, for sake of call it bounding box. Box. And that's your final export. So what that is, that's the game's hitbox and select box for it.
Okay.
So it'll tell the game, okay, the unit is standing right here, and it'll follow the unit while it moves. So when you go to select it, that's the box you're selecting. That's what you're selecting. Because the individual mess doesn't have a selection box. So
That makes a lot of sense.
you're making it for the.
And is this also where in the unit innies you define geometry?
You don't need to define geometry for the unit. Everything should be uniform. I don't. Do they have geometry? I don't think I have geometry at the bottom. Yeah, it just be the same geometry for each unit, but this
That's just standard.
yeah it's just standard across because shadow decal is for low quality shadows. It just generates a little PNG that hovers under the unit, and geometry is just the general shape of the unit. I think all infantry have the same geometry, but for the selection and hit selection box, you use this. You
Okay.
usually do it when you're done, when you think, okay, I like the result. Let's put it in game. Rip that guy. Okay. Yeah, so this guy is done. Can export him. I don't think I'm bringing over us today, I'm not gonna lie. But I could do it next room. I can do it next room.
That's fair.
So this guy is done. I can probably drop it somewhere for you guys to use if you guys want to use it. Right?
Yeah, I'd like that. It's just the skin, right?
Yeah, it's just a skin. So if you have a Theoden, so you could probably copy the Royal Guard use as a unit in terms of
Yeah,
animation code.
yeah, exactly. I'll probably do that.
So I'll just drop the skin file here. Cool. Alright, so I dropped it. I made a new channel just for the stream stuff.
Sick.
I don't think you need to create any new textures or anything. So yeah, I'm gonna stop the recording for now because I need the rig.